Thank you very much, guys. This is now very much interesting. Actually, we've traveled so far, and right now we are in Amsterdam. Don't ask how we've reached in Amsterdam, but we are where we are. Thank you very much, my friend. It is my pleasure. I'm very much happy meeting you today.
Likewise.
We are just trying to create an awareness of how drug has been causing a star when it comes to depression, when it comes to violence, and it is a very tough world when it comes to that. Now, I'm very much happy knowing that you are once a victim, right?
Definitely. Yes, for many years.
Okay, now tell us your name, where you're coming from,
Yes.
and now we start what we are about to start.
Yes, my name is TJEERD. I'm from Holland, from Amsterdam. That's where I was born. That's where I grew up. And life is a little bit different there, yeah. So I had a lot of opportunities, but I threw it all away. So I just want to let you people know that addiction doesn't discriminate, It doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, how wealthy your family is, it doesn't matter. Addiction can hit us all, It can hit everyone. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Because I came from a good family, but long before I started to use the substance, I was already showing the behavior. For example, I remember the first time I stole something. I was 6 years old.
No, that was the first time you stole something?
It was the first time I stole something.
Okay.
I stole a ring from my mother. And I didn't have any clue of the value of money or whatever. And that's how it started with me in my behavior. Because I had a lot of love when I was younger. My mother gave me all the love I needed. But there was still like an emptiness inside of me that I wanted to fill, I wanted to fill the emptiness. And I tried to do that with for example, stealing things, or approval from outside circumstances such as friends, parents, school. I was always craving for attention, But everything is now in hindsight, because when I was young, I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that I was different from other kids.
Okay. Now, actually, you feel by the time you're growing up, you felt like you're empty.
Yes.
This thing, it comes in different ways.
Yes.
Because you received the love, you had food, you have everything in the house. Now, what meant you to feel like you felt like you were empty from inside? What do you think you were lacking that made you to feel that, the emptiness in you? Was it drugs or was it
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Now, what made you?
There is a trauma which I experienced when I was 2 years old, and it involved my mother leaving me with family, and I didn't like it, and it was a big trauma for me,
Okay.
So maybe that's subconsciously has contributed to this feeling of emptiness, but I don't know. I really don't know.
So what made you to think about, if you're empty, what is this thing that makes you to think about the drugs instead of other things? Because you being empty doesn't mean that you have to go for drugs.
Exactly.
Now, what drove you to that?
Exactly. It was experimenting.
Okay.
Yes. I never really planned to use drugs, right, when I grew older. But in my country, in high school, marijuana is legal in my country, you know that, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very legal, and you can buy it in the store.
Yeah.
You can only buy a certain amount, but you can buy it, and you can use it freely. So I think that's also part of what's causing youth to start at an early age, right? Because it's so easily accessible. Yeah. So like when I was in high school, I was like 13, 14 years old, and all my friends started to experiment with weed, and that's what I also did, you know. So but for me, like, I instantly fell in love, and it became my religion, you know, my medicine. From the first moment I did it, I just did it every day, you know, like whenever I could. I would start when I woke up before school. I would smoke in the break, smoke in the afternoon, smoke in the evening. I would smoke all day.
And
So,
your parents know about
very
it?
extreme. Well, my parents, they grew up in the 50s and the 60s. So in those days, there were no drugs, right? So they also had no awareness, you know, of what it looks like if somebody is using, and they also didn't want to see. Yeah? They were like looking away. Do you know, if you know what I mean? They didn't want to see, like, if you have a kid who's doing something very bad, you have sometimes this coping mechanism where somebody just looks the other way because the truth is too hard to face. So, and this also is a part of what my parents did, I think. Yeah. So they never found out, you know. And of course, like, as an addict, you are very good in keeping secrets. Very good. Because if you find out my secret, you're going to, you know, I have to maybe give it up, right? I have to give up my medicine. I have to give up my religion, my safety, you know, my comfort, my escape. Because that's what it was for me, you know. Because, like, it was just an easy way for me to cope with life, you know, and cope with the emptiness inside of me. So it started with experimenting, but before I knew it, I was deep into my addiction, you know, and then it progressed to other substances such as cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, psychedelics, you know. I had no boundaries. I just did it, you know.
And you have sisters, brothers?
I have one older sister, yeah.
And she did not even realize whatever you're doing?
Well, no.
And did you have anybody who was even able to tell you that now? Was there any given point that somebody realized that whatever you're doing was wrong, like you were caught? You were not caught.
I have been caught a few times, but I would always, like, lie myself out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is not mine, this is from a friend, I found it, blah, blah, blah. So I was never really confronted, you know, with my using.
Okay. Now, at what time did it reach, like, did it, like, you felt like, now, this is now enough, I have to do this, I have to leave this, and I have to, did your parents knew about it? How did you come to leave all these things?
Okay, fast forward a lot, yeah? So, to the end of my using, but, like, for me, I had no hope for myself. So I didn't wanted to quit, you know, I didn't want to quit. So I kind of more or less accepted it for myself as a part of me, you know, and that I was gonna die like this. So I didn't even wanted to stop, but I met this lady who was also in her addiction, and we were using drugs together, and, like, as you know, like, I don't know if you ever heard about the saying, two sickos don't make a wellow. Do you know about it?
Yes.
Like, two sick people together, they don't make a wellow, right? So
Yeah.
they, like, amplify each other, so they make things worse,
And
right?
you feel high, both of you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were using drugs together, and it was just one big toxic dynamic of, you know, cheating, lying, stealing, and using drugs and all this awful stuff, you know. So eventually, like, I had a few emotional breakdowns. I don't know if you know what that means, but, like, I was emotionally completely finished, right? I had no sleep, no food. I couldn't look at myself in a mirror, you know, and I just, like, fell on the floor crying, and I wanted to die, and I didn't know what to do, and desperate, you know, like, completely sick of everything, of myself, of the world, of I didn't. That's like, for me, it was like an emotional breakdown, right? So, but I still didn't stop using. But my ex-girlfriend, she said, "Listen, you need to go to rehab because this is not going very well." And so I said, whatever, I give it a try, I don't believe in it, but whatever. So I went to rehab, and that's when the light came on, because
You just decided by yourself, or the ex-girlfriend?
excuse me,
You decided to
my
go by yourself.
ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend, yes.
Now I'm realizing that there are some
did it
good
for
girlfriends.
her.
There's some good girlfriends out here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I did it for her.
No,
to be-
the lady was so good. Why did you decide to call her an ex? Because she just took you from a very pathetic place. Now
Yes.
you can be called. Now you have a name.
But I'm so grateful
Okay.
that I met her. I believe that God put her in my life.
All right.
Yes.
And
To bring me on my knees, right?
Okay.
Yes, that's what I believe. But in rehab, like I also work as a counselor in Holland. I did studies to work, so I'm a licensed counselor as well, and I also help getting people in treatment. And a lot of times people say, but you have to do it for yourself, not for other people. But my experience, and from the experience from my company, that it works a little bit different, right? Like, okay, you have to do it for yourself eventually. But what you see is that people who go to the rehab without really, with force from their family, friends, whatever, and they are in rehab, and their mind clears up a little bit, right? They get some sleep, they get some food, and they don't use, of course, because you cannot use in rehab. And then sometimes the light goes on, right? So they think, okay, what am I doing, I really have to do something about this. And that's what happened to me, because I didn't want to quit, right? So, and I did it for my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. And in rehab, it was like, oh my God, what am I doing, I have to do something about this, But still, in rehab, it was it was a painful experience for me.
No, let me just stop you.
Yes.
By the time now you decided to go for a rehab, did your parents know?
Yes.
What was the feeling by the time they knew that now our son was taking this and all that? What was the feeling?
I felt like the biggest loser. Yes.
They felt that they were losers.
I was the biggest loser.
Okay.
I felt like the biggest loser because like I grew up with this belief, which is not true. I found out later. But I grew up with this belief that I have to fix my own problems, I have to hold my own pants. I have to make my own money, all that stuff. And it's true to a certain degree. You have to be independent and everything. But some things you cannot do alone.
Yeah.
And like a mental issues is something that it's very hard to overcome by yourself. And there was also the shame and the guilt and the fear of rejection what kept me from being honest about it, So when I finally I had to be honest to my parents, at that point when I was going to rehab. So it was one of the hardest things I did in my life, But I was very happy I did it. And I was very scared that my parents would reject me, and but I told them, eventually. But it was very hard for me because,
Okay, as we speak right now, you don't use any of the drugs that you used to do?
I'm 100% clean.
You don't? How?
Nothing.
For how long? For how long have you been now free?
4 years. Yeah.
You've been free for 4 years.
Yes.
I wish you the 100 years being free.
Thank you very much.
I wish you the 100 and thousands years for you to be free, because that is the happiness of each and every mother that is watching this. Because when you find that your child, your son, your daughter, it is very much hard for some people, and that is why we do such kind of things. Because there's some of the, like for us, you might find that there is nobody who is teaching you about this, and there is nobody who's concerned about your life. But when you find that person is concerned, like for you, you felt that now this is something that I should be dealing with by myself. Now you can even find somebody and you can just tell that person, be open, share. If any case you're having any problem, share, so that there is somebody who is there that is able to help you. Like these people here, they're able to help each and every person that is undergoing this. Now, you love Kenya, right?
Love it.
What do you think? Because have you ever experienced how the drug addiction is in Kenya? Have you ever seen how it is?
I've heard a little bit, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've heard that there's a lot of heroin. Yes. Also a lot of HIV amongst IV users, like injecting and stuff, yeah. So it's pretty bad, yeah. It's pretty bad.
What's the difference between the drug abuse here and the drug abuse from the country where you are from?
There are much more resources.
Here.
Yes. No. In my country, are much more resources. A lot. It's very easy, and also the healthcare.
Okay.
Like, if you go in my country, if you go to a rehab, everything's being paid for because you have an insurance that covers everything. Because addiction is labeled as a disease, a mental disease. So that's why it can you can use it under the health insurance as like a sickness, yeah.
Okay.
And here it's a little bit different, yeah. If you want to go to a good rehab, you have to pay a lot of money, and that's correct, huh?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. If you want the better, we say, if you want the better services, you have to. Your pocket must be better, just like that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a little bit different in my country.
Okay.
Yes.
Now assume you, like I'm not assuming, but that is exactly that whatever you just said. You kept quiet with all the problems that you are undergoing. Or the problems that you underwent.
Yes.
And it cost you actually, because there was nobody who was even able to talk to you to know where your problem, because you were all the time you were trying to lie about them.
Definitely. Yes.
There's some people out here the same.
Yes.
We Kenyans, you find that even some of the parents, even they abandon their kids about that. When they realize that such things are happening,
So sad. Yes.
and they end up getting into a very hectic life out here.
Yes.
What is this one thing that made you there is a certain experience that you had in life that you felt like, now I am done.
Yes.
Like I'm done. I have to make a turnaround so that I get to the right place that I should be.
Yes.
Now, what is this thing that helped you? Maybe it was a worst experience or a good experience.
Yes.
Is there that thing that you can tell somebody that, okay, upon and then now this is the place where I reached and I was not even able to.
Addiction is a disease. It is more powerful than life itself. So all your survival needs, like food, shelter, they go out the window, when you're in your addiction. So it's unbelievably powerful and cunning and baffling, addiction. So as an outsider, as a family member or as a friend, there's really not much you can do other than stop enabling. And what I mean by that is like the point, you need to reach a point where you are where you have suffered enough. Like, pain is usually the only motivator for people to change. So if you experience enough pain in whatever kind of situation, you will change. But if you don't experience pain, if you are nice in your comfort zone, you will not change, because why would you?
There is no reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I also work with families in my country, and we also try to make the family understand that helping is not giving money. Helping is not giving food. Helping is not giving shelter. Because if I'm an addict and I'm using, right? And you let me live in your house, you give me food every day, you give me a hot shower every day, how long am I going to continue to use, you think?
Like you'll even get tired using it.
I will never stop using.
You won't.
Because I always have a place to go, but the moment you put me on the street, right, reality is gonna hit me, right? Okay, so now I'm really done, yeah. And usually, not always, but usually that's the place where someone needs to be to become willing to accept help. Yes.
So meaning you have to accept it.
Yes.
Within it should be coming from you.
Yes.
Then now you extend it to reach the person who should should be helping you.
Yes.
There's some of the things that I'm getting so new when I compare the drug abuse from where you are and the drug abuse in Kenya.
Yes.
Because you can be accepted back. In like you can find some of the parents, they do not even accept their children back after all those.
Also happens in Holland.
It does. It also
Yes.
happens the same.
Yes.
So if they don't accept you now, where will you be going to?
Well, there's other ways and means to provide for yourself, yeah.
Okay.
So, like addiction destroys a lot, and just by being clean and working on yourself for a little bit for a few years, that means nothing compared to the suffering and all the other stuff what your parents or your friends went through for years and years and years. Because usually people use 10, 20, 30 years before they finally reach that point of desperation where they are willing to accept help,
Okay.
right? And willing to listen to what other people have to say.
Okay. Now there is this person who is listening to us, and they're also seeing us they are viewing us. There is something that you would have loved, like a parting shot. There's something that you would have loved to tell this person out here, because now we are going globally. We are in Amsterdam.
Let's do it.
Yes, actually we are going globally, because this is something that we have to eradicate. These are the things, even in the homes, you can find that there are violence. Men are depressed out here, women are depressed out here because of the drug.
Yes.
If we can eradicate this drug abuse thing, we can even go far. So as we speak now, we are globally being viewed. There is somebody here who wants to get something from you, something new, something old that needs to be refreshed once again.
Yes.
Talk to that person. Just talk to that person. Drug abuse is not all about the culture. Drug abuse is not all about the denomination. Drug abuse is not about the color. Anybody can be a victim.
Definitely.
Now talk to that person who wants to hear exactly whatever he has not heard about drug abuse, just a parting shot, so that they get to hear what is happening here, what is happening in other countries, like globally.
I believe that when you're struggling, I believe that the stigma is holding you back. And the stigma on addiction is very outdated, because it's not true. People can change,
Yeah.
and people will change if you give them a chance, right? And maybe some people need 2 chances, right? Or 3 chances. But if you provide good support and a good community, someone can change, All you have to do is reach out, and talk to. You don't even have to talk to someone that is close to you, like a family member or a friend. Talk to someone who has experience and understands you. This is the most important thing, because the first thing, when I was in rehab, I had the psychologist, and they were talking to me and filling out all the forms, and it did nothing to me, But when somebody else who was also in addiction but was clean started to talk to me and told their story to me, I could identify, And that's when I felt safe enough to share what was really going on with me, right? What I was keeping down for so long. So that's why I think we need more people with experience in the field of addiction, because that's a great power, to have. Because addicts, they don't trust no one, They don't trust anyone, and especially no institute, yeah. because they type on the computers, you know, and you never know
Like
what
you felt like now they were disclosing your problems,
yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's very important, to have experience in the field. Yeah, people with their own experience of addiction. So I think we should break the stigma. That's what I think. Like mental. There's a lot of taboo around like mental issues, right? And that's what's holding people back to to talk about it, and to seek help because of the judgment around it, and traditional way of thinking around it, So for me, I'm an advocate, like I was crazy, I was really crazy, and now I completely changed, and I can attest for that. And all I did was ask for help, and it's not easy sometimes still, yeah.
Okay.
Because I still have this part in me, but I'm growing, and it's getting better every day.
Okay, most of the drug abusers, the victims, there's some of the people that I've been talking to, and they were like, drug, you can be in love with drug and even forget about the family. You can even forget even being married.
Yes.
Because of the drugs.
You don't forget it, but the drugs is more important.
More than the family.
Well, yes, yeah.
Were you even intending to have a family, or do you have a family? Because maybe you are now 4 years free.
Yes.
Or did you manage even to have a family since drug dominated your life as compared to as compared to ladies out here? Did you manage even to have a family after you being free?
Yes. Well, I've had a girlfriend, but not anymore. So I'm single now, but I have my own family back. My parents, the relationship with my parents is better than ever. Like better than it ever was. The relationship with my sister is better than it ever was in my life. Yeah. And it's all because I have a daily routine of things that I implement, what I learned in rehab and in therapy and in the self-help program. And it really all comes down to that, what do I do on a daily basis to keep aware, to keep growing.
Okay. It has been amazing having such a gentleman before me. He has been trying to work over drug addiction, and right now he's 4 years free from drug abuse. And we're very much happy for you, and we are really praying for you that you celebrate even 100 and thousands years out of that. Here we are in Amsterdam. Can we say that we're in Amsterdam? Because now we are being viewed globally. Now we are in Amsterdam, and let nobody ask us how we are here. Just know that if you know, you know. Thank you very much once again. We really welcome you each and every time you come to Kenya. Mewa, this is called Mewa. Is it the first time you're coming here?
No. I've been here a few times. Yes,
Thank you very much.
Volunteering work here.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome each and every time whenever you're coming. This is the place to be because you're going to find different stories. And if you're out there, if he managed to get out of the situation, what about you? You have a kid. Maybe you feel like now this is an end. And it is not only you that can be a victim. Anybody of any color, of any race can be an addict. Get out of it. Just get out of stigma, and you're going to make the best person so far. If you feel you're a man that maybe drugs can make you not to have a family, you can have a family. If you feel that drugs can make you to be out of your family, he's a testimony here, and he's right now he's very much close to the family. Subscribe, comment, share, because it's a global thing. Thank you very much for watching, and keep it real.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And can I say one more thing?
Okay.
If you want to reach out for help,
Okay.
you can add me
Right.
on Facebook, or you can maybe follow you on Instagram or DM you on Instagram, so you can link them up with me.
Okay. You can
Definitely, I'm always ready to help. Always.
Okay,
Yes.
you'll just give us your information.
Yes. Let's
So
do
that we are going to share. Are you free if you share your information?
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, you're going to yeah, I mean you're going to give us all the information that is
Yes.
needed. You're going to share so that which help do you want, like which I mean specifically which help, what are you dealing with, so that like we can able to get to you.
It depends on where a people is, where a person is.
Okay.
So if you have someone who is thinking about quitting but is not sure, you have people who are completely sure about quitting. You know, they are in different stages of their process, right? And every different stage requires a different approach.
Assistance. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to put all the information. Please click that button.